how are you? This is your favorite teacher, Adkeshri, and today in this chapter we are going to learn or revise about Women Who Made India Proud. So let's get started without any tennis. So let's start. The students of class 7B was called to discuss an important class project. What is the project about? Read on to find out. Class 7B was buzzing with hushed voices. The cultural program was not due till next term. The students wondered why their English teacher had brought them to the common room so unexpectedly. Something exciting was surely going to happen. They just could not wait for Mrs. Bhati to begin, and we all settled. She asked, smiling at the 35 students in her class. Yes, ma'am, they said in chorus. Today we are going to discuss an important day and I want you to hear your thoughts on it. The class sat up in anticipation. It is a day on which we celebrate women who are an integral part of our lives. We wish to show our respect for them and honor them. The students looked at each other. Mrs. Bhati smiled. They make up an equal section of human population, but for much of history they had to fight for their basic rights. A few hands went up. Yes, Herschel. Are we referring to Women's Day? Said Herschel. That's right. We are talking about International Women's Day, said Mrs. Bhati. When it is celebrated, I think it is in March, said Lovely. Last year, our housing society organized a function to felicate the ladies who clean our building. That and great initiative. Yes, International Women's Day is on 8th March, and this year the class will prepare a project on some extraordinary women of India. That is why we have gathered here. Mrs. Bhati on to divide the class in four groups. Each group sat together with their pens and notebooks. Mrs. Bhati said, you can go to the library and read about such remarkable women. Collect as much as information as you can on a woman who inspires. Let's discuss your findings on Friday. After that, we will make posters about these women. After that, we will make posters about these women. First, let us get all the information in place. Are you ready to visit the library? They were ready. 2 days later, students assembled in the common room again. Group A was ready with their research. Akshat began, we will make our posters about her life. It's fascinating. She led the revolt against East Indian Company in 1857. Akshat, Akshat said the English East India Company exiled her husband. It Wait, let me underline the important words. Or sorry, let me underline the words. Let me read. Wait. Uh-huh. Akshat said she was the queen of Awadh. When the East India Company exiled her husband, Nawaz Wazir Ali Shah, she stood up against the company. Her son was just a minor, she ruled as the regent in his place. She fought with the British with everything she had, continued Akshat. It believed that she would personally meet the soldiers to encourage them. She wrote detailed instructions for the battle movement, is said to have gone to the battlefield on elephant back to boost the morale of her soldiers, although the forces led by her eventually had to retreat. She was one of the strongest opponents of the British. What an extraordinary woman, said Vinay in an odd tone. And look, said Angela, the government of. Wait, no, why ad is coming? And look, said Angela, the government of India has issued a stamp in her honor. We can use the picture of the stamp on our poster. Done, said Hassel, who had been listening intensely. The group high-fived each other, grinning. Meanwhile, Group B was huddled together in another part of common room. Farhan had three books open in front of him. The students were engrossed in reading about the life of women who had not only fought for India's independence but also imprisoned several times. Farhan said Kasturba Gandhi, participating in politics in South Africa, where she helped Mahatma Gandhi establish the Phoenix settlement, and in 1913 she was sentenced to 3 months in prison. Wait, let me say you the meaning of the Phoenix settlement. Phoenix settlement. Land that Gandhiji bought in Phoenix, a South African town where many Indians settled down. Okay. All because she protested against the treatment of Indian immigrants in South Africa. I did not know that Umesh in wonder what else did she do? Farhan opened another book and said, when she when she when she returned to India, she continued opposing the unfair practices of the British. In 1917, when Mahatma Gandhi had helped indigo farmers in Champaran, wait, let me tell you the meaning of Champaran. Here it is written, as you can see. Here it is written. Here, Champaran, wait, Champaran, a region in Bihar, mobilized here. Sorry, Champaran, a region in Bihar, means Champaran is a kind of place or region in Bihar. Kasturba Champaran with their protest. Kasturba Gandhi mobilized the women in various campaigns related to the hygiene, sanitation, and cleanliness. She also joined the civil disobedience movement led by Mahatma Gandhi in early 1930s, and was arrested several times. In 1942, she was arrested for participating in the Quit India movement along with many other freedom fighters. Soon, her health deteriorated and she passed away in 1940. A hush fell over the group. Finally, Jitu spoke up. We should honor her life and her sacrifice and do more for the country she left behind, said Nido. The others nodded seriously. However, Group C was not having much luck. After much debate and discussion, Balbir looked up beaming. I got it, he said. Really? Asked the group excitedly. Yes, she was a visionary, worked for the rights of tribal people. She was a famous writer too. Who? Asked Beaton. Mahashweta Devi, said Balbir. In her long literary career, she wrote about 100 novels, 20 collections of short stories, and drew inspiration from her stories from the lives of Adivasi people of West Bengal, Bihar, Madhya Pradesh, and Chhattisgarh. She lived in their villages learned from them, and fought for their rights. She went on write stories and represent their struggles. Wait, let me underline. Yes, now. Shweta said, yes, this book says that her biggest contribution was her fight for the tribals, the landless laborers, and migrants. She was the voice for the voiceless. People looked close at the article that Balbir was holding. She has won so many awards. Why haven't we read her stories before? I remember reading the Why Girl. Wait, let me underline. Wait a second. Why Girl, said Manish enthusiastically. It is a delightful story about a girl who's curious about everything. Great! We can also put this quote by her at the end of the poster, said Balbir. The whole group peered at the paragraph that Balbir was pointing at. The history of the tribal struggles is not to be found only in the written script but one generation to another. Meanwhile, Group D was making process too. Daniel, who was engrossed in a book, suddenly looked up and suggested, wait, wait a second, guys, wait a second. This is the problem that I face whenever I record my video. See, this is not easy for me because first I take a clear picture of the videos, sorry, of the pages of my book of a particular chapter. Then I create a video and underline those important lines, and then upload that video to my one more channel, and then after that I use that video from that channel to use in my videos. Means suppose I create this, click the pictures, underline those words by creating a video and send it to my first channel, and from there I get that video, and then I read that lines and underline the means I'm not underlining it. I've underlined it very much before. I'm just reading it out and just underlining the words. Okay, no problem. Wait. So let's get started. Meanwhile, Group D was making progress too. Daniel, who was engrossed in a book, suddenly looked up and suggested excitedly, I think we should do a poster on Tijan Bai. Sudarshan asked, who's Tijan Bai? Daniel read out. In a remote village called Ganyari. Guys, please remember the spellings because the spellings are the most important and the word meanings also. Just memorize it. Daniel read out it in a remote village called Ganyari in Chhattisgarh. A little girl sat memorized listening to her grandfather reciting the Mahabharata. She soon memorized it at the age of 13, gave her first public performance in a neighboring village. This young girl grew up to be the first woman singing the Pandavani, entering what was that then a typically male bash. Soma inquired, what is Pandavani? It says here that Pandavani literally means singing the stories of Pandavas from the Mahabharata, answered the Daniel. Breaking a tradition of women reciting in the style, Tijanbai performed, standing singing out loud in her typical guttural voice with remarkable verve for her unparalleled contribution to the art. She was ordered ordered one of the highest honor of the country, the Padma Vibhushan, in 2012. What a great artist, explained Lovely. Mrs. Bharti, who had just then slipped into the room, stood quietly and watched the class as they continued their discussion eagerly. She felt proud of her class. When the bell rang, Mrs. Bharti told the class, "You have done a fine job. Now let's create the posters on these remarkable women." So now let's read about the okay, this much for this video. I hope you're fine. Study this video, learn this video, like this video, subscribe this video, and prepare for an exam. Best of luck, guys.